Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to the county of Dorset. I've only been to Dorset once before on my channel, and that was when I did one of my monthly vlogs at the little village of Yetminster. So we've come a bit further south there. I've come on the train today onto the Heart of Wessex line between Bristol and Weymouth. In fact, it was a through train all the way through from where I live in Gloucestershire, so it was a great service, although it takes a little while, but it's fine. It's a lot easier than the car. No worrying about parking and getting caught in traffic jams. Started my tour of Weymouth here at Radipole Lake. It's not that far from the railway station, and you can get out to that. This will not be a complete tour of Weymouth today. This is my first visit here, and I'm not going to try and cram everything in. I've only got a few hours here before my train back today. I'm not staying overnight or anything like that. So I will come back here again to other bits of the town. After here, I'm going to make my way down to the harbour area, and then along by the breach and the promenade, and then towards Lowlands Nature Reserve. And I think there's a little cove further along there, and a Roman temple. See how we get on. I'm not sure I can promise I can get all of that in today with the time restraints that I have. But you're most welcome here on West Country Wanderings in Dorset, in Weymouth. I'm going to head straight to the main harbour, and I've just seen a sign for Weymouth Old Harbour. Not sure what that is, so I'm just by the long stay beach car park here to my right, and we're going to go down this way. It's another entrance also to Radipole Nature Reserve, which is also, I think it's an RSPB reserve. Looks a fabulous place. I was just standing on a little jetty jutting into the lake there, but yeah, I've managed to come here on a beautiful day here today in mid-June. So it's midweek. It still seems quite busy. The train wasn't too bad. To be fair, it was arrived bang on time, which is great. Great service by GWR. Thanks, GWR. And no, not on commission. But yeah, we'll go and check out this old harbour. So that's Radipole Lake again behind there. Just seen a couple of cormorants there. I'm not sure if it's going to come out with my wide-angle vlogging lens, but yeah, wonderful spot. We're just going underneath the main road here. There's the main road. And I can just make out a load of boats over on that side. So that's, I think, is the new harbour. A nice tree-lined avenue with the lake still to my right at the end of it. And then that goes into the entrance to the new harbour here in Weymouth. So I've just seen a Jurassic Coast open top coast bus, double-decker bus. Just reminds me of Southwest Sunday's channel. A lady called Louise does some brilliant content around the West Country, and she's just done one where she caught the night sleeper from Taunton down to Penzance and went around the Land's End Penwith Peninsula, part of Cornwall. It's worth checking that one out. But yeah, they have got that here as well, which takes you alongside the Jurassic Coast. So this busy road to my right, your left, is the A354 road that takes you to the island of Portland. Well, it's not strictly an island, it's actually a peninsula. And perhaps that's somewhere else we'll explore. Sorry, there's lots of police cars whizzing through here. Not sure what's going on there. There's some unmarked... Sorry about that. Unmarked police car. We're going to head not to Portland today, one for another time. Well, we've got this harbour here, and then we're going to make our way. This is actually called Breakwater Harbour, and then we're going to have a look at the old harbour, and we should be able to have a glimpse of the South Pier. That's not a pleasure pier, but it's a pier which is at the end of the breakwater, which protects the harbour from the elements. So there's a lot of money in that harbour there, in terms of the all those boats. I prefer a narrow boat, something more relaxing. I don't really fancy going out on the open sea, or perhaps a gentle river cruise, but sea boating isn't for me. It may be for you. So if you've had any boating experience and on the open water, as in the sea, let me know, if you've ever owned a boat, or indeed still do. Love to hear from you. Please drop a comment below. I do apologise for the traffic noise on this part of our tour today, but that is the old harbour just behind me. You can just make out somewhere around there a green bridge, and we're going to go and have a closer look at that right now. So the bridge behind me is Weymouth Town Bridge. It was actually replaced in 1930 of an earlier swing bridge. This one is a bascule bridge, very similar to Tower Bridge in London. So I have these wonderful, brightly coloured buildings along this side of the old harbour here in Weymouth. So now in the main shopping area, I'm not going to stay around here. But yeah, so we're going to head down to the Seafront now, promenade, and the Lowlands, I think that's how you say it, Lowlands Country Park. So now on the main promenade with, as it states, Weymouth's award-winning white sandy beach just to my right. It's also a fun fair on the left. You'll be the other way around for you, looking at the screen. And I'm going to head out of this area because it is quite busy. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the noise and the people. So we're going to head off down to Lowlands. And towards the end of that, there should be a quiet cove as well. I've forgotten the name of it. I'll put that in below. I'll see if I can get there and check out that Roman temple as well. But before I just sign off on this little clip, just to say that I used to come here as a child, Weymouth, and it was our nearest beach until I thought it was about 100 miles away. I say nearest beach, it wasn't actually the nearest beach, but it was the nearest beach of good quality in terms of one you could really bathe in with quality sand. And yeah, so there was like comes back with childhood memories for me from being brought up in Gloucestershire, which is obviously quite away from the seaside, although I obviously subsequently have lived in both Devon and Cornwall, so I'm well used to seaside places. But yeah, it's really good coming back here again after all these years. I normally tend to shy away from busier areas, and I say I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. I'm not actually feeling embarrassed at all because I'm far from the only person doing vlogging here. It seems to be a lot of people. I think a lot of people come down from London, they're more used to that kind of thing there. I've seen lots of photographers around the harbour area as well. Tend to see that very often in places that I go to, so although it is a bit busy and noisy, I don't feel out of place in that sense, because obviously seaside resorts and cameras tend to go well together. What I am going to do though is, after I've been to the country park at the far end, this fantastic Weymouth Bay, I'm going to come back with my little pancake lens, my one you're probably familiar with my Ancient Hampton video, and just see if I can get some street photography in using that, see how we go. I can't promise it because obviously I'm a bit tight for time to get my train back today, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it here. I couldn't have asked for any better weather here on Weymouth Seafront. We've got the older seagulls here, of course. I'm familiar with those when I used to work in St Ives. In fact, I saw a gentleman eating some fish and chips, and the fish was made off with, and some of the chips, by one of the seagulls. Huge deck chair there if anybody wants to try that one out. In terms of facilities here, it's really good. There's just seen some wood-working toilets, as well as the cafes and refreshments places that you would expect, and lots of seating as well. So you can hire the older deck chairs, but you've got this wonderful view out from the bay. I will change my lens and get you some shots of that later in the video to do that justice, but you can see the chalk white cliffs of Dorset there. famous clock coming up now. It's the Queen Victoria Jubilee clock to celebrate Queen Victoria's Jubilee in 1897. I seem to remember this clock very, very well when I used to come here as a child. And of course our Queen has just celebrated her platinum. I got that wrong the other day. I do now know it's platinum. I think I said it was diamond or something, but yeah, I got that now. So thanks for somebody who's corrected me in the comments for that. And yeah, so here it is. I'll just do a shot of that famous clock here. Now I remember spending hours in the sea here, just around about this spot, not in sight of the famous Jubilee clock there. And that South Pier behind me there, and in those days they had channel ferries. I think they were run by Sealink, which was owned by British Rail, and you can watch them going out and coming back in again as you were sunbathing and swimming in the sea here. So I'm currently in the delightful Greenhill Gardens. I'll just do some shots here a second. Then I'm going to put my camera away and then make my way up to the country park. But again, beautiful day here. Some really nice arrangements of the flowers here, including the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. I'm never going to forget that now. Made out in flowers, which has been done really, really well. Great. Welcome to Lowlands RSPB Nature Reserve. Stunning view of the marshes here, and the bird life is absolutely fantastic. Got these benches here and I've got the place to myself. We've got all the crowds down there, the promenade and the beach, people enjoying themselves down here. But nobody wants to wander here. It's about a mile and a quarter, I guess, probably maybe just shy of 2 kilometres to come here from the centre of town. But certainly is well worth it. And of course I had those, I think they were called Greenbank Gardens on the way. But yeah, this is a wonderful spot here. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here to see what we can see. There should be some little egrets. Lots of things going on in the marshes over there. Just the other side of that, you have the NNR, National Nature Reserve. It's I think it's called the Lowlands, I'll check it, put it in below, Meadows NNR, and that's just the other side of that. So that's 3 nature reserves all encircling Weymouth, which is absolutely fabulous. I don't think there's many towns that have such riches of wildlife reserves around them like this town here in Dorset. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's trip to Weymouth here in Dorset on West Country Wanderings. It's not often I do a town tour. I did one about 5 weeks ago in Weymouth in South Devon. It was a lot quieter then. We were early in the season and the weather was a little bit more unpredictable. So although it's been a midweek day here in June, because of the weather of course, it's brought everybody out. It's been very, very busy, but I have certainly enjoyed it. It was good to see the old Jubilee clock again, see that fabulous white sandy beach, looking across to South Pier and to the old harbour and other points of interest as well. Before I sign off today, what I'm going to do now is go back through the town, head back towards the railway station. Before I go, I'll also give you a little bit more information on that as well. And change my lens, I'm going to do a combination of my little pancake lens and my telephoto to get you some shots around the town and include that at the end of today's video. In terms of the train, the time of the train, how long it took me to get here, well, as I say, I was heading down from Gloucestershire area and it took about 3 hours, and Google Maps, if I was driving, would give me around about a similar figure, perhaps 10 minutes quicker. But I've just noticed that if you park in Weymouth, it will cost you at least £10 to park all day, and with the price of diesel and petrol, I think the train is the best option if you can do that. There's also services to Weymouth from the London end. There is electric trains that take you down from London Waterloo. Does that in about 3.5 hours. You can get across from the south coast too. And also at the other end, if you're coming up from Devon and Cornwall, you can change at Westbury. You can get one of the Penzance to Paddington expresses that stop at Westbury and change there and catch the Wessex Line train down to Weymouth. Certainly enjoyed it. If you did, the usual stuff, I won't repeat it. You know what to do. Hope to see you on West Country Wanderings again very, very soon. All the best now. Take care. Bye bye.